So the next step, one I've been thinking about for a long time, is to try and solve the problem of limited field of view. Even on 6mag, on this particular scope as its minimum, there's still very little field of view. So unlike normal hunting in daylight, you can't scan around with your eyes, locate something and then bring the rifle up. You can only see what you can see through the rifle, and I'll show you in a minute. Even on 6mag you're only talking at about a metre square at 20 yards. So if you've got a hedge line or something, it's relatively easy to follow up the hedge line, but it still makes scanning fields difficult. It takes a long time to go over it. So a lot of people use a spotter, which is building basically a night vision unit on a little handheld, bit like this camcorder, with a smaller lens in it, and just use that to scan a field. I think for rabbit shooting at close range, that's probably another big lump of kit you've got to carry. And by the time you've put the spotter down and picked up the rifle, you've then got to find the rabbit again anyway. So if you found it in a hedge line, it could take you a while, and at 30 yards it might see all the movement or hear it and be off. So what I've done is I've put a second camera, which is a straight EJ230 bullet cam, exactly the same camera as on the back, just in a bullet lipstick formation. It's got the standard 12mm lens it comes with. I've just cable tied it to a bit of rail and then used an upside down scope mount to clamp it on. So it's in line with the scope and everything else. I don't particularly like putting things on the top because it sticks out and it's going to get caught, but it's not too big, and it should make it easily transferable in rifles with the rest of the unit. At the moment I'm just running them independently just to see how it works. The plan eventually is to fit a wireless transmitter to this one as well, and then I have a switchable receiver which on the press of a button will just switch between the two cameras. What I've done hopefully now, in the bottom corner, I should put up a smaller video showing the views through the two cameras. Luckily with both of these types of cameras you've got some privacy settings so you can use them to crudely make crosshairs, etc. But what I've done on this one is put a rectangle or a square the same size as the ×6 magnification sees. So if I find a rabbit, put it in that square using this camera and then switch, it should be easily locatable within the scope view. Obviously if you're at a higher zoom magnification you'll be somewhere in there, but I wouldn't expect to go straight on to higher magnification like that anyway. As I say, at the moment I'm just testing it. It seems to work reasonably well. Other advantage of using this camera without going through a scope is we get the full rectangular screen, so you get a full field of view, whereas obviously on this one you're limited to the circle, which cuts down quite a lot of the width the camera can see. It's one of the advantages the scopeless guys are taking. So that's the plan. It works reasonably well here in the daylight, and I'll show you, hopefully the videos are running underneath, one through the scope and one through the what I'm calling the scope spotter camera. Again, I can name the cameras, you'll see the wording in the top. The only thing I'm seeing is, I think it's because these cameras record at 1000 by 576 resolution, whereas the Angel Eye DVR only records at 720 by 576. It seems to be squashing the image widthways very slightly, and it's also cropping the bottom off. So if you look, the square on this one and the crosshairs on this one seem to be in the lower, just under the lower half, whereas actually looking through my video goggles they're actually centered and there's more field of view below what the Angel Eye is recording. And obviously the scope does look a little bit ovaled left to right, so I expect it's squashing it a little and cropping.